Hi, I'm Noah Katz, Engine 15 B Shift. Today we're at the Training Academy to show you the new modified Minuteman hose load that's going to be coming out to our trucks. As professional firefighters, we know that in today's environment on the fire ground, fires are burning faster now more than ever before. In addition to that, the city of Phoenix is growing every single day. We're dealing with hoarding conditions. We're dealing with obstacles that we have not seen before in hose deployment, as well as a lot more vertical stretches as we continue to build this city. Because of that, we're trying to adapt a new hose system that's going to allow us to be more versatile. The Minuteman modified hose load is a modular attack package that is diverse, and it will allow us to be more effective and efficient in our hose deployment. It consists of a bundle of 100 feet of hose strapped together, and then is connected to the truck with either an additional 50 feet or 100 feet to make up an entire attack package. Today, we're going to show you how to load the hose. We're going to show you 5 different ways to deploy it, and we're going to show you some obstacles that we may face when deploying this hose line. This is the loading of the modified Minuteman bundle. In order to load this hose load efficiently and correctly, you're going to need 2 50-foot sections of 1 3/4 hose that's going to be rolled with a male coupling facing out. This allows all of the air in the hose to be eliminated so that the bundle can be loaded compactly and tightly. To start the load, you need a 6-foot pike pole. You're going to extend your nozzle 1 foot to 1.5 feet past the end of the pike pole before we start maneuvering the hose back and forth. Each fold will be the exact distance of the pike pole, 6 feet. When we get to the 3rd fold, you're going to extend a loop at the back half, which is going to be an identifier for when we deploy the hose. The coupling can sit in the middle of the pack. You'll make your connection to your next 50-foot section and continue in the same fashion. Two more folds will be made before you make another identifier loop in the back half, giving 1 identifier loop in each half of the load, 1 loop per 50-foot section. The last little section of hose will be left out, which will be connected on top of the truck. The nozzle portion that we left out will be turned so the pistol grip faces the top and will be wrapped around. Straps will be provided to the crews in order to strap these down tightly. The straps should all be facing the same direction so that the tabs are sitting on top of the load so that they don't get caught up in the hose bed and are easily identified and deployed once the hose load is deployed. One strap will be placed around the nozzle and the front half of the load, 1 in the middle, and then 1 towards the back half, keeping the pack compact, which will sit nicely into the hose bed. In order to load the modified Minuteman load into your hose tray, you're going to load your supply before putting the bundle into the tray. On the American LaFrance, we found that loading your supply in a single stack in line with the plumbing makes the most sense, and having your drop loop at the number 3 location allows you to get a good distance away from the truck before it catches on your arm and you drop your initial loop. The single stack should be kept tight. And the last piece will be put to the side on top of the truck until the bundle can be loaded. Here is a connection of the pack, sliding the pack back into the tray. Once the pack is in the tray, the connection is made on top, connecting the bundle to the supply in a single stack. The bundle is easily accessed off of either side of the truck by a single firefighter with a connection on the top. Here you can see our firefighter laying down the bundle, unstrapping the hose, picking up his nozzle and his coupling, taking it to his drop point, asking for the line to be charged, and then fixing his hose so he has his supply line underneath his attack line, leading him into the structure effectively as a single firefighter. Cycling the line to reduce any kinks, and then easily advancing into the structure as a single firefighter. Here's an example of the modified Minuteman being deployed on a short setback. A short setback meaning that we're about 50 to 100 feet or less from the target area. As you can see, our firefighter is deploying this hose load on the opposite side, orienting the nozzle toward the target drop point, which is going to be the front door. The supply line is pulled. When he gets to his door, he's going to drop the bundle, unstrap the 3 straps, and then take the 2 loops and pull the loops backwards towards the truck, picking up the coupling and the nozzle, dropping them at the front door, and calling for water, effectively having 50 feet of line that will easily be allowed to be navigated into the structure by a single firefighter. As you can see, when the line lays out, it's clean, and a firefighter is able to easily advance into the structure, effectively allowing him to put water between fire and any victims as fast as possible. Here's an example of what we call the drop stretch. This deployment shows the versatility of the modified Minuteman load. As we said earlier, we know that in the city of Phoenix, we have more and more vertical stretches with apartment complexes and mid-rise buildings being built every single day. Here, the firefighter is able to deploy the line to the bottom of the stairwell. When he gets to the bottom of the stairwell, the firefighter is able to disconnect the hose by himself, hold on to his tail, and bring the pack up the stairwell. This eliminates the firefighter having to navigate any turns with the hose line and prevents any kinking from happening in the stairwell and the loss of any hose, which will reduce our pressure. The pack is dropped with the nozzle oriented into the entryway of the building and is unstrapped. Once unstrapped, the tail is dropped down through the railing and will be reconnected on the bottom. Meanwhile, the firefighter up top is pulling back his loops, calling for water, and making sure that his coupling and his nozzle are at the doorway, allowing him to be led in with the first 50 feet of working length in a clean fashion. The line is cycled kicking any kinks out, and a firefighter is able to advance in fighting fire. As you can see, there's now a direct line from interior of the fire occupancy back to the fire truck with no hose in the stairwell. By having that direct line, it allows the stairwell to be left clean. With a clean stairwell, we have room for a second or a third hand line to assist in the stairwell, as well as a clean means of egress for any downed firefighters or for victim removal as we find victims interior of the structure. Here's an example of our firefighter stretching the modified Minuteman hose load to a second-story landing. A single firefighter is able to navigate a stairwell and bring his hose load up top, as well as stretch it out in a vertical manner so that the firefighter can easily feed his way into the structure. Here, the firefighter has extended the pack to the stairwell and to his drop point at the door. The firefighter is going to orient the nozzle forward into the occupancy, unstrap the pack, and then split the pack in half. One half of the folds will go in one direction, the other half will go in the opposite direction, similar to an alley pool. This allows the working length of 50 feet to lead our firefighter into the structure effectively on his own while not getting kinked up on the landing, and has a working length and quick ability for the firefighter to enter the structure. Here's an example of our firefighter making the bundle into a coil prop, or what we know in Phoenix as a Cleveland load. The bundle was navigated up the stairwell, dropped, and oriented towards the door. This will be used as an example in a breezeway that has tight spaces, and we need to keep the hose off of the ground in order to navigate more hose lines and keep a clear means of egress. The firefighter will simply make a bundle out of the pack and step through it, keeping the pack against the wall and allowing the pack to charge in a circular fashion. Once the hose line is charged up, it is leaning against the wall, staying out of the way, and a firefighter can easily make entry into the structure, pulling the line from the coil. The modified Minuteman hose load is an incredibly versatile load that allows us to be faster and more efficient. Here's an example of our firefighter pulling the hose load in a dynamic environment with a few obstacles to navigate. This load easily allows a firefighter to have it on his shoulder and navigate a wall and stretch to the front door. Once the pack is down, the firefighter orients the pack, unstraps the pack, and pulls his two loops of orientation back away from the door, feeding a clean line from the truck to the front door for entry. Here, our firefighter is pulling the Minuteman load off the truck, orienting the nozzle towards his drop point. Here's an example of a tight courtyard where the firefighter extends a line through a gate and then has obstacles interior of the courtyard and doesn't have a whole lot of room to extend the line. The firefighter is going to split the line in half, creating a V, and deploying each side of the line to one half of the courtyard. This allows the firefighter to have his working length, nozzle, and coupling 50 feet at the front door with no spaghetti and no kinks as the firefighter's line gets charged for water to make entry into the structure.